Where were you on the picture? Oh, I'm sorry. Wrong place.
Hi, how are you? Fine, thanks.
Okay, this is Randy Leach from Conway.
Hi, Randy.
Hi.
He put a bid in, and we're going to ask you some questions as to regards to your bid,
Okay.
and there may be some things that we didn't put into the bid that we want to get clarification on.
Okay.
Okay? So, welcome, first of all.
Thank you.
And everybody's got a copy of your bid, your specifications and so forth. A couple of things, is there any staking involved of these trees?
Yes.
Okay. And I guess another question I would ask, and then we'll go to somebody else. How big is your company, or do you have the equipment and that kind of a thing to
Yes,
do
I'm
the
a smaller
planting?
company, but I have all the equipment to take care of the job.
Are you by yourself, or do you have workers with you?
Yes, I do.
You do?
Yes,
Okay.
two. Two full-time during the summer.
You have two full-time besides yourself?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Questions over here?
So
Anybody?
looking at the scope of the project, and obviously you've looked at our new home and the area, how long do you think it would take, what would your timeline be as far as how long it would take to plant the the shrubs and the trees that we've outlined
I should be able to complete everything in a week
in a week?
at the most.
Okay.
Mhm.
And your workday would be what are you thinking about, in the morning to evening, because we have residents as well to think about, and I'm just thinking about what does your workday usually look like?
Well, at least 7 to 5,
Mhm.
if I could stay longer, then I'd like to.
Okay,
Mhm.
all right. What is another project that you've done that is comparable to what we're looking for?
Most of my work is residential, not a lot of commercial. I'm trying to think. I do all of Raymond Damaris's work. I don't know if you know Ray or not.
I
Do you know
do.
what the Maris's, yeah?
I've done all their work for, this is the 8th or 9th year now.
Mhm.
And, not, like I said, not too much. I've done some work for Buzz Coleman. I did that was probably 10 years ago in Biddeford, Maine. They added on to the wall mat, made it a super wall mat.
Yeah.
I went and took care of that for him.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
So you've been in business for 10 years?
I've been doing landscaping for 12, and I worked for the first 4 years down in Conway at my father's nursery, LCR Nursery in Conway.
So 8 years as
12 landscaping, 4 at the nursery.
but self-employed,
Bless you.
12 years,
12 years.
yes.
And just to follow up, everybody else is guaranteeing the product for a year? I didn't see on yours that you had a guarantee.
Yeah, it does say so.
Yes, as long as everything's properly watered.
Yeah, and that's my question. Who makes this determination that it is or it isn't properly watered?
Well, it really should be watered every day.
Assuming that we do that, how would, if something went amiss, how would you deal with that?
And then I would replace it
Okay.
within, for the first year.
So are you, just so I can finish?
Go ahead. Yeah, don't ask, just
Okay.
go ahead and ask the question.
So is there a, for want of a better term, an insurance policy? Are we doing this on your good word, or how do you back up the warranty, is what I'm asking?
Well, it's in the contract. I recommend with the size of this stuff, at least 3 to 5 gallons of water a day. And one question I have is it going to be watered 7 days a week, or is the maintenance just Monday through Friday?
Good question. You can water them
We have staff on 7 days a
weekends?
week.
Yeah, okay.
Because otherwise, then I would recommend timers on soaker hoses. But if you have, the staff, then I would.
Yeah, we're buying hoses and we're buying time
Nine hoses and timers. yeah.
clock. Okay.
Would you be doing inspections during the course of that year?
Absolutely.
Okay, and what would you presume would be like monthly or seasonally, or how would you?
Every, 1 to 2 months, I'd like to come down and take a soil test to see if the ground's, moist enough.
Mhm.
Talking about the soil, I think you brought up the issue of amendments.
Yeah.
As far as how would you know what was your thought of putting nutrients into the soil? Or how would you?
I generally use topsoil and Coast of Maine Penobscot blend. I don't use peat moss anymore because I spoke with a arborist last year, and he strongly recommended against the peat moss. He said it could be bad, but the Penobscot that I use does have some. And once everything's established, I'd recommend fertilizing everything at least twice a year, spring and, late summer, early fall.
Is the fertilizer in the bag of material you're talking about?
Yes.
Do you know what that analysis is?
It's a blend, it's blueberries, mussels, fish scales, peat moss, and compost.
Okay.
Lots of everything.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's like corn syrup.
Yes, it is.
So we had talked, and I realize it's a little off topic specifically, but we had talked at some point in time about moving one or more of the larger trees from the old nursing home.
The only ones that I would suggest moving would be the two ginkgos, and they're on each side of the building.
Did we want to incorporate that into this?
Well, we didn't put that in the bid,
Yeah.
but we'll have to have another bid going out for some of the smaller azaleas, rhododendrons, and some of the lower junipers.
That's all right.
We just split it up.
I digress.
Now, these amendments, what about mulching?
I would strongly recommend mulching.
Is that in your bid or not in your
Yes,
bid?
it is.
And what size mulching? Is it a 3-foot diameter around the tree, or
Basically, yeah,
and what kind of mulch is it, I guess?
just regular brown cedar mulch.
Cedar mulch?
Yeah, it's basically a 3x3 or 4x4 at the most, Usually that's
So
what,
the 4-inch reference is to the depth?
yes.
Okay.
Do you have a tree spade?
I use my loader. I have a scoop on it. And if if there's something I can't get to without, damaging something, we'll just do it by hand.
Would it be an imposition if we asked where you get your plant material from?
No, Northern Nurseries, Barrington, New Hampshire.
Northern Nurseries?
Northern?
Yeah, they're good.
You know them?
They have several locations. That's the only one in New Hampshire. They have some in New York, Connecticut.
Okay.
Northern, oh, it's out there.
Barrington.
They're very good, you say, Pat?
I've heard of them, yes, they're
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
No, in fact, who is it? Our golf course, that's who it is. Wolfboro or Kingswood Golf Course, our grounds person uses a lot of their plant material on our course.
Okay.
And he's very strict. So it's not from personal experience. I was trying to find out where we got our high bush blueberries that are on the course now, and he said Northern Nurseries. They're really good. So
Yeah.
just passing that on because he is very fussy.
Do you hand select all these trees, or do you let them pick and deliver?
Yes, I let them pick and deliver.
Now, what if there's something that doesn't meet your standards when it arrives?
Then I'll send it back. Because it's hard for me to pick and choose because they have to bring some stuff in from other nurseries. I think they have, it's either 5 or 6 different locations. So, they have some stuff on site and the rest will be brought in from the other nurseries.
Do you inspect every single piece that they deliver?
Yes.
Would
So-
you, go ahead.
I'm okay.
Would you use any of the loam that we have on site
Yes,
if it's screened?
yes.
Okay.
Are there scheduling issues we should be concerned with?
Yeah.
And what, if we decided, or the commissioners decided on Wednesday to award the bid and wanted the planning to start in, what, the 1st of May?
Can't do it
whatever.
till the 1st of May, because that's when it would be screened. I believe at the last of April. 1st of May is supposed to be screened. I think that was in the bid for the screening.
I'm just wondering about this gentleman and whether or not he's prepared to
Okay.
jump
yeah.
on the job. On the
Yes, I
1st
could
of
be here
May.
immediately after the loam screen.
Okay.
Would you always be on site with your other workers?
Oh, absolutely.
And you have proof of insurance and all that other?
Yes, I'll have that for you. Yep.
If we had certain trees that, according to the plan, that we didn't want to have in that location for snow removal reasons that were in the way, if we didn't want, if either A, we could move them to another place, or B, if we didn't want to purchase them, say we cut them right out, would that be a problem?
No problem at all.
I think we would purchase them,
Okay.
but push them back so we have room for snow removal. If we start canceling out stuff, then we may get substitutions and all kinds of things.
Okay.
I think if our plan is adjusted so that when the landscape designer did it, she probably wasn't thinking of snow removal.
Absolutely.
And so we may push the bigger shade trees back a little bit.
Sure.
And there's one case right at the opening or the entrance of the nursing home where there was 3 shrubs that were to be put there. We're gonna buy them, but we may move them to another location.
Absolutely. Yep.
Just because of the snow situation.
I had asked earlier that there may be substitutions, that, how hard would it be for you to break this out if we were to award the bid to you on a per item basis for the cost?
It wouldn't be hard at all.
So that if the commissioners decided to substitute one plant for another, they'd know what their costs were.
Yep. No problem at all.
When you looked at the plan, did you think this is a good plan and it would look really nice? Or with your experience with trees and shrubs, do you have any concerns with what we've given to you?
No
Good question.
No, I think it'll look good. The only thing was the question
We'll call you in a minute, okay?
that he asked about possibly moving stuff, due to the snow removal. But other than that, I think it'll be nice.
How about daily site cleanup and end of job site cleanup? Do you
Every day.
don't leave any holes
No
uncovered?
mess. No mess at all.
Mess every day.
Yes.
I know in the past when we've had contractors on site, and I'm sure it's still the case now, you're gonna be required to abide by the rules of the county with regard to sexual harassment, personal interactions with residents and residents, families, that sort of thing. So you've dealt with that sort of
Absolutely.
arrangement before.
Yep.
Anybody else?
You talked about possibly using some of the loan that we have on site. Are you aware of that the location of where the loan will be? Because it won't be right here at the building, it'll be a little bit further out.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. When I came the first day, I drove around and I saw there was a large pile over.
Out back of the building?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but obviously nothing, close.
Right. So that's where it would be.
Yep.
You're okay with dealing with that?
Not a problem.
Well, that was what, so you said the loan supplied and installed by others or at 30 cubic yards? Is that what that,
What is
oh,
that?
sorry.
Not on his, it's on somebody else's.
Yeah, we were estimating. Do you have some idea of how much loan you're gonna need?
I'm not really sure. I haven't figured that out.
That's a hard question to answer, I think.
Well, I mean, he's in the business.
We're gonna
I'm
have
not.
Probably,
The bid went out for 1,000 cubic yards,
Yeah.
and they claim, this one person that called me said that they'd have it done by the 1st of May.
it would probably be, I would think at least 10 to 15 yards minimum.
So I stopped a truck the other day down at Dunkin' Donuts, and I said, how much would your truck carry? And this is a big dump truck, and he said 18 yards. That's what they carry. So if you're looking at one of those big 2, 4, 6 or 8 wheelers, that's what they'll carry. Anywheres from a small dump truck would carry probably 10 or 12, but anyway.
And there's 6 yards in the whole one.
Now, some people sell by weight, some people sell by cubic yards. So it's in there for cubic yards.
I hadn't figured out an exact amount, because when my father had met with you,
Yeah.
he said that I would be using the loam on site.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't figure a certain amount.
Yeah. By the way, I'm not going to vote on this, because I talked with some people, and I'd rather not. I'd let you guys do the voting and the recommending. Okay? I'll vote when it comes time for the commissioners to
I
vote,
was just going to say. I
Yeah,
said,
I guess you'll vote.
but it'll be,
So
Based on
you don't want to leave it to
committee's
me.
what's that?
Based on committee's
Yeah,
recommendation.
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
So I have just one question. When you take the product, receive it from the nursery, could you explain what your process as it goes into the hole is? What,
Well, the first thing I do is open everything immediately.
okay,
Cut everything open, because otherwise, especially when it's warm, it'll burn from the inside out. And dig the hole, prep the hole with the topsoil and fertilizer, set the tree in, then you cut the ropes around and pull it away, pull a little bit of the burlap away, and then backfill the hole.
okay.
So you leave the burlap on,
Yes,
all the burlap,
yes.
but you're tucking it down so it's not going to act as a wick to take the water out, right?
No, I'll take X-Acto knife and cut, all around the top.
Okay.
And then backfill, I don't tuck it back down into
Okay.
the side of the hole.
Because sometimes if they leave the burlap on and it's exposed to the surface, it'll act as a wick and dry that ball right
Right.
out.
Right.
And anything coming in a wire basket,
It's fine, some stuff will, but the
That-
Y basket's fine.
but we gotta cut, I would suggest that be taken off.
So that's not a problem.
Okay.
I mean, I usually leave them on, because sometimes, especially on a bigger tree, once you
Yeah.
take them off, if the dirt
Falls apart?
it can create air pockets in there
Yeah.
and potentially hurt the tree.
Uh,
But leaving the wire basket on will not harm the tree.
Well, I'm thinking that it might cause a problem with the root system, whereby it gets girdled because of the size of the root. What's the size opening on the wire baskets?
Oh, they're, it depends on the cone, the size of the tree, but generally,
Okay.
you're looking at a good sized hole
Yeah.
like that.
I don't know how you people feel about it,
I
but,
don't have any opinion
Pat, what?
on- No, I have no opinion on that
No opinion?
issue.
Okay. Okay, anybody else? got any further-
Waterboarding,
Yeah.
it
What's
falls
that?
right in there with waterboarding, I think, doesn't it?
Anybody else got any questions?
Thank you so very much.
Do you have
Thank
anything
you.
else you want to add or subtract? or
After midnight.
tell us? Okay.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much.
Thank you.
And you're not voting why, David?
What's that?
Why are you not voting?
He's just not voting on our, this
I'm not voting on your recommendation, I'll vote when it comes to commissioners' time.
On any of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I thought it was some personal thing. Or he doesn't want to be, thought of as part of this group. Is it a political thing, David?
Welcome.
Jason?
Hi.
Okay, this gentleman is, what was your first name?
Jason.
Jason, okay. And he's from Salmon Falls Nursery, right?
Correct, yep.
Okay, we've got, this is a panel of people that are very much interested in the landscaping project. Some of them work here, some of them don't. And we've got several questions that we want to ask you. And I guess I would start with your proposal. Are all your trees staked?
Staked after planting?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, definitely, especially with the wind situation coming up across this parking lot. We stake all our trees.
Okay.
Usually for keep that on for the first year, at least until roots are established.
Okay, you've seen the plant list. Are there any substitutions you're gonna make?
The only thing that for basically for value that we were proposing to substitute was the pink spire clethra to a similar, like a ruby spice.
Oh, yes, it's right here.
Okay, yeah, I got you, yep.
Other than that, we have most of this stuff in our own nursery stock, so.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you wouldn't be buying this in?
The majority of it, no. We do most of the trees. All the birch would come from us. I believe the Nissa we have, definitely have the maples. The smaller shrubs we would buy in, yeah.
Could you tell us a little bit about your company and if you were chosen, what the number of staff you would have here doing it? And
Absolutely,
give us a
absolutely.
little flavor of what you're all about.
Equipment.
Yep. Salmon Falls has been in business for over 30 years now. We primarily were a commercial install company. Recently, we've also added a maintenance and irrigation division. And like I said, we also have 200 acres in production of our own nursery stock that we basically feed the commercial division with. And also residential, small residential, nothing too big, but our claim to fame has been mostly commercial install. Our typical commercial install crew is three crew members, unless the job warrants more, it would be 3 in this case. We have currently staff about 50. We have, all the equipment necessary, definitely have 7 or 8 skid steer loaders, excavators, things like that. We definitely have the firepower to do a job such as this. We guarantee all our nursery stock, obviously for 1 year. We have a lot of people on staff that are certified. Basically professionals, we promote education and things like that.
Do you own a tree spade?
We own a couple of tree spades in different sizes, yep.
So you've got a mobilization charge of $500 for additional mobilizations,
Right.
and you're providing all the product out of your own stock, or primarily out of your own stock. What would present the additional mobilization issues?
Typically on most of our commercial projects, say like a big apartment complex somewhere in Mass or things like that, something typically that we do. We travel all throughout New England. Obviously, the furthest we've been is Bar Harbor. I've been down to Foxborough a few times. But on a project such as that, with so many other trades, sometimes we didn't get the siding done in time, or this building isn't ready. That's why that's a typical clause. There's no way it would ever happen here. This is obviously a clean site. We could come in, do our work, and that's just if we have to pull off of site and basically remobilize all our equipment and crews. That's when we get into additional charges like that, just cost of fuel and moving equipment and things in and out if we can't get on a project and stay there. So that there's no way this clause would ever be, this wouldn't be a project for this.
Remember, you're on television, so.
Yeah, I know, that's why I
Would never
definitely not the typical
happen.
meeting I was expecting.
Yeah, we can talk about this.
And yeah,
after
you
the
can
election.
quote me on that, it wouldn't happen.
In some cases, the way the design was done, we have people here that do the snow plowing, and we may have to move some of those trees back.
Yep.
And I know there's at least 3 shrubs that are down in the circle in the entranceway that probably would not be there, but we would put them someplace else.
Yep.
And we would identify that ahead of time.
Yep, and we're definitely open to that. I mean, we're not adding or subtracting anything, we're just moving around
Yeah.
what you've
yeah,
already purchased.
Yeah.
And we have no problems with that, working with people on site. And
Where do you-
Definitely, we appreciate people that can see snowplow piles and things like that. It definitely helps us with our warranty, so.
Where are your hemlocks coming from?
These particular hemlocks, I believe we have in our nursery.
Okay.
I know that there's a quarantine in York County currently, so
Yep.
I'd have
Yep.
to talk to the nursery manager about this particular job to definitely identify that. In New Hampshire, typically if they come out of state, the entomologist will inspect them and
Yep. Yep.
things like that.
I understood that they either come from Canada or from Pennsylvania.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff we get now is out of Pennsylvania, Western New York area,
Yeah. Yeah.
unfortunately.
How long do you think this will take you to finish?
A job of this size would probably be a little over a week with our crew.
And do you have a time, like early morning to early evening, or what do you think your hours are going to be?
Typically, the crews would work upwards of 12 hours. I mean, if this was I don't know if it's occupied, so if there was a specific start time we would want, it wouldn't be any problem. And then typically daylight, they'll work, whatever the specifications are.
So do you think it'll take a week or?
Probably a little over with this. I always tend to think more on the positive, on the faster production rates, but with the facility being open and probably some sensitivity to start times, so maybe be a little longer.
I think handwork could start anytime you'd want.
Yep.
Just the machinery would probably have to wait till after 8 o'clock in the morning.
After 8?
Yeah, I think, Sandy?
Yeah, our residents, we have 103 of them, and not only would we have to, we'd certainly involve them as far as what the project would entail, but there'd be a lot of observers, so we'd have to make sure that we contain them, but they love projects, so this would be great for
Absolutely,
them.
and that's fine with us. We've actually done a lot of these type community living places where they've started to move residents in before the project's done. We work our way around a particular project, some of the bigger ones, and it's always interesting to.
Do you have daily cleanup?
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. Every site is cleaned.
Every day?
Every day.
Don't leave any holes
No
uncovered?
debris, no holes, nothing, no liabilities like that.
So where else have you done projects like this?
We did the boulders in Exeter. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. We did that one. We just did Kittery Retirement Estates in Kittery. I'm going to call them Retirement Estates. They changed the names after. I think it's Colonial Gardens or something like that now. We just completed a similar project in Beverly, Mass. of the same Colson and Colson properties that do like a large like central unit, and then they'll have bungalows and things around like that. So a lot of similar projects like this, retirement communities.
Thank you.
Have you seen anything on that plan that you would rather not do, or you would have comments on that?
No, nothing is sticking out to me. This is all pretty standard stuff.
Those birch trees.
Mhm.
Now, I talked to the landscaper and the designer, and she said that they will not bend over if they're grown properly initially. Is that true?
What do you mean bend over under, like a snow load? Or
Yeah.
Ice.
Yeah, birch has been way over.
I mean, there's proper pruning techniques and things like that that'll keep them somewhat upright,
Yeah,
but they'll bend over, absolutely,
I think so too.
absolutely.
Which brings me to I realize Commissioner Sorensen feels that this plan is cast in stone. I'm less certain of that. So I had asked prior to this if we could break the specifications out on per item per cost, so that if there are substitutions, that they know what sort of money
Yep.
is happening there.
Yeah.
Because I can't imagine that with 90 plantings, there isn't going to be some question during the process.
Yeah, and we would be open to that, that's no problem.
What do you think constitutes proper care in order to have your guarantee?
Well, obviously, we take care of watering. We'll send a gentleman up probably once a week or so, depending on the season, to take care of the watering.
You will send someone for what period?
Well, throughout the summer, the drier months, obviously dictating on weather, usually falls less and things like that, but we take care of the watering. Now, not to say that we wouldn't appreciate if we do have a particularly hot summer, that if there are maintenance people that are able to pitch in on some of that, it's definitely welcome. The more water in the first year, the better.
And that's included in your bid?
That's included, correct.
Yeah.
Remember you're on television.
What's that?
Remember you're on television.
That's okay. But yeah, the watering is included, and then, just within the tree rings and things like that,
Yeah.
just
Yeah. Right.
Nobody's running over with mowers and things like that.
So for 6 months, you'll do that, water?
Yeah, well, depending if we have a spring like this, it may be longer. If we get back into the 80s early, then it
Well,
may be
basically,
longer.
essentially what you're saying is the growing season.
Correct. The harder months of it's all weather dependent. If we get a wet fall, if the summer's wet, then you may not see us every week, but we definitely know that we own these plants for the first year, and we want to see them live.
Excellent.
Absolutely.
Good.
You've toured the property, the county complex.
Limited, yes, but
Have
I took
you
a
seen the
quick
loom
look
pile?
around. I didn't see the loom pile.
Okay. Well, you got a bid out now that they'll screen it down to 1/2 inch or 3/4 inches into 1,000 yards. Any idea how many yards you'd use? Are you planning on using a loam, I guess is the question.